Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Mic check.
Sorry, everybody. We're just waiting for colleagues of ours that are late. All right, good morning, everybody. I'm going to call this meeting to order. I'm going to start off by apologizing. I'm getting over a cold, so I'm a little bit hoarse this morning, so my apologies for that. And before we officially get this meeting going, I'd also like to congratulate Councillor McKelvey, who more than likely this will be your last community council meeting, and congratulating you on your election Monday night for the riding of Ajax. And wishing you a long, happy, healthy career in Ottawa. And don't forget your colleagues in Scarborough when we need money from the federal government for something. Housing, transit, Rouge Park, infrastructure, waterfront development. Thank you and congratulations. Okay, good morning. I'm Councillor Paul Ainsley. I'm the chair of the Scarborough Community Council. We do have quorum. We have quorum. I'm now calling meeting number 22 to order. Welcome, everybody. Just a reminder that today's meeting is being held by video conference and in person at the Scarborough Civic Center here in the council chamber. This meeting is also being live streamed at YouTube/Toronto City Council Live. For the land acknowledgement, I would like to say on behalf of my colleagues and our city staff that although we may be meeting at different locations today, Community Council would like to acknowledge the land we're meeting on is the traditional territories of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples. It is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We also want to acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty Number 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit and the Williams Treaty signed with multiple Mississaugas and Chippewa bands. If you're registered to speak at today's meeting, if you could please listen for me to call your name. I'll call speakers in the order they appear on our speakers list. The list of speakers can be viewed online by visiting the Scarborough Community Council page at toronto.ca/council and clicking on the speakers box for today's meeting. For the members of the committee, the city clerk has provided all of the agenda materials on toronto.ca council and on the clerk's meeting portal. Staff are available to members if you need help with your devices. I also want to remind you to please submit and approve your motions by email. Staff are available at scc@toronto.ca to help with any motions. Are there any declarations of interest under the Municipal Conflict of Interest Acts? Seeing none, can I have a motion to confirm the minutes from our last meeting on April 3rd, 2025? Moved by Deputy Mayor McKelvey. You weren't there. Councillor Mantas, all in favor? That carries. All right, we're going to go through the agenda. All right, SC 22.1 is scheduled for 9:30 a.m., 799 Brimley Road, zoning amendment application. This is a decision report for approval. We have one registered speaker, so I will hold that. Our second item is SC 22.2, 1251 Bridletowne Circle. This is a city-initiated zoning bylaw amendment, reallocation of Section 37 funds within Ward 22 for a decision report. Councillor Mantas? No. Councillor Mantas is moving the staff recommendations. All in favor? That carries. Would you like us to find some for you? Number 3, SC 22.3, 1555 Midland Avenue, part lot control exemption application. This is a decision report for final approval in Ward 21. Councillor Thompson has asked me to move the recommendations on his behalf. All in favor? That carries. SC 22.4, 27 Lyncroft Drive. This is an application to remove a private tree. We have one registered speaker, Kristen Deshakilik. Is Kristen here? Online? Okay. Sorry, Mr. Deshakilik. I have a bit of an issue with this with the application this morning. Staff didn't send, the forestry department didn't send the proper posting of the notice out, and they would like to have this deferred for a month to make sure the proper notice is filed. I just want to, you can still depute this morning. I just wanted to see if you'd be fine with waiting a month.
Good morning, Councillor. Yes, I could wait 1 month.
Okay. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. My apologies. Yep, so I'm going to move the deferral motion. All in favor? And that carries. Our next item is SC 22.5, 49 Bellamy Road South, application to remove a private tree. We have one registered speaker, Jeffrey Antila. Sorry, Mr. Antila, I have the same problem with yours. The forestry department didn't properly. All right. You still like to speak this morning? Okay. All right. So we're just going to go through the agenda, and then we'll come back to this item. All right. After that is SC 22.6, Beran Drive, traffic calming, speed humps in Ward 24. I am going to move the recommendation since this is in my ward. All in favor? That carries. Next item is SC 22.7, Colonel Danforth Trail, traffic calming or speed humps in Ward 25. Councillor McKelvey.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will move staff recommendations. I will note that we did a poll, as we always do for the residents on the street, and 60% were in favor.
Okay. All in favor of the recommendations on number 7? That carries. SC 22.8, Confederation Drive, traffic calming speed humps in Ward 24, which is my ward. I'm going to move the recommendations. All in favor? That carries. Our next item is SC 22.9, Holmfirth Terrace, traffic calming speed humps in Ward 24. I'll be moving the recommendations. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing none, that carries. SC 22.10, Huntsmill Boulevard, traffic calming speed humps in Ward 22. Councillor Mantis. Councillor Mantis is moving the staff recommendations. All in favor? That carries. SC 22.11, Kollar Drive, traffic calming speed humps in Ward 24. I'm moving the recommendations. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing none, that carries. SC 22.12, Ranstone Gardens, traffic calming speed humps in Ward 21. Councillor Thompson has asked me to remove the recommendations on his behalf. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing none, that carries. SC 22.13, Stevenwood Road, traffic calming speed humps in Ward 24. That's my ward. I'm going to move the recommendations. All in favor? That carries. SC 22.14, Brockley Drive, parking amendments in Ward 21. That's Councillor Thompson's ward. He's asked me to move the recommendations for him. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing none, that carries. SC 22.15, 361A, Old Finch Avenue, 2000 Meadowvale Road, designation of fire routes and amendment to Chapter 880, fire routes in Ward 25. Deputy Mayor McKelvey.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move staff recommendations.
Okay. Deputy Mayor McKelvey is moving staff recommendations. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing none, that carries. SC 22.16, Brimwood Boulevard, speed humps in Ward 23. This is an item of new business moved by Councillor Myers.
Chair, we're just making a correction on the recommendations.
Okay.
You can just do the.
Hold that down.
Yes, please.
Yes. We can still add it as a new business? Okay. All in favor of adding this item as new business? Any opposed? Seeing none, and is being held in Councillor Myers' name. All right, we are going back to SC 22.5, 49 Bellamy Road South, application to remove a private tree in Ward 20. We have one registered speaker, Mr. Jeffrey Antila. Sorry, Mr. Antila, the cold meds are kicking in or haven't worn off. Our first item is SC 22.1, 799 Brimley Road, zoning amendment application decision report for approval. We have one registered speaker, Christopher Langley, Battery Planning and Management. Mr. Langley, you have 5 minutes to make your deputation. After that, each member of Community Council has up to 5 minutes to ask you questions. And then we move it into committee, where we each have 5 minutes to ask questions of staff, and then move any motions after that. So your floor is yours whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Hope you feel better. Members of council as well, good morning. I just want to take a moment just to thank city staff as well as community planning and Councillor Thompson for their support and guidance throughout the iterative development review process for 799 Brimley Road. It's brought us to a concept that we're proud of to bring forward to council this morning, and the time and efforts are very much appreciated. We're also happy to redevelop a commercial plaza with much potential, with housing options to a predominantly low-rise neighborhood that has access to new transit options, new parks, as well as in a location where the city anticipates new growth. So I'll keep it short for this morning, and I'm available if there's any questions from staff or members of council for the application. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Any questions of the deputy? Seeing none. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Questions of staff on this item? Sorry, in the same guidelines, you have 5 minutes to address community council, and then we have 5 minutes to ask you questions, and then we have 5 minutes to ask questions of staff. You can proceed whenever you're ready. All right? Can somebody help the deputant? Somebody's coming down.
to address serious concerns over falling branches that could potentially result in personal injury and additional property damage to my home. The arborist report that accompanied the application described the tree as being in poor condition. The report noted the tree has exhibited random limb failures in the upper canopy. The previous limb breakage suggests declining overall health and that these failures are likely due to fungal disease that weaken the wood. I've included some photos here demonstrating examples of falling branches that have occurred under normal weather conditions since I began documenting them in August of 2024. As you can see, this is a rather large branch that fell in my back property by my side entrance door and on my deck here where we often sit. I've got another example here of a large branch falling on my roof. Another cluster of branches falling on my roof. And again, this has all happened since August of 2024. Smaller one here on my deck again, and another small grouping on my roof. Moving on, I've also included some photos here of limb failures. It's kind of hard to see, but I've bubbled them in red here. There's a break here, break here, break here, break here. Again, these are just a few examples, a rather large one here, another one here. As this tree is in the direct path to my yard, you can see this is my gate and this is my entrance into my yard. And it's also directly outside my side entrance door, again, so I have to cross under the tree or come through here in order to get to my backyard. It raises some issues of concern for me. Additionally, the skylights to our house on this back porch are right above the tree, and my daughter's playroom here is directly below. So in scenarios of inclement weather or in the late summer when the branches get really overweighted with the walnuts, we have concerns about something potentially coming down and crashing through one of these skylights while we're using the space. The branches have already caused property damage to my soffit, fascia, gutters, roof, decks, and furniture, which I have paid to replace. Also, cleanup of the branches require access to the roof, which again is an area of a concern for me as I have to get up there and clean them or hire someone to do so. I would like to note that I respectfully disagree with the report that was prepared by Urban Forestry. The report mentions that the canopy has been repeatedly pruned back and that routine maintenance would likely reduce future branch failure. Again, I completely disagree, as I've pruned the tree in 2016, 2019, 2020, 2022, and 2023. And I've done my due diligence to maintain this tree, yet I'm still experiencing multiple breaks and falling branches, as I previously indicated. I've just quickly have a few copies of some of my invoices, $1,500, $1,700, $700 over the years that I've done to prune this tree. My arborist report was also completed in August of 2024, when the leaves and walnuts are present on the tree and can be reviewed for signs of fungal activity and fruiting bodies, which is likely the cause of limb failure. The city staff inspected the tree and indicated no fruiting bodies or fungal inspections were observed. My opinion, the main reason for this is because the tree was reviewed in January of 2025 when there are no leaves and walnuts present on the tree, and it's extremely difficult to observe fruiting bodies in January. I believe the information within my report should be strongly considered for the removal of the tree. Again, lastly, as you brought up, the report indicates a notice of application sign was to be posted on my property. Again, I personally reached out and questioned this and was confirmed that the statement in the report was inaccurate. Some concerns need to be made regarding the validity of the overall report. I have supporting letters. I've gone ahead and got my own feedback from my direct neighbors at 47 Bellamy Road South and 49 Bellamy Road South that are both in support in removal of the tree. In April 22, I previously applied to have the tree removed. I appealed the decision, and unfortunately, I did not receive my notification to attend the council meeting in January of 2023. I've been patiently waiting for my opportunity to reapply and plead my case. This tree is a danger to me and my family, and it's impacting the use of our home and our property. I have 8 additional trees on my property, which should demonstrate that I'm doing my part to protect the urban forest and environment. I'd be more than happy to plant 5 replacement trees if given the opportunity to just take down this one tree. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Any questions of the deputant? Seeing none. Thank you very much, sir. Questions of staff? Councillor Mantis? Oh, you can sit down, sir.
Oh.
On a tree that has fungal, are you able to detect it in the wintertime? Like, does it still have, would it still show indications of fungal, even if it's dormant?
Through the chair, it is more challenging, but there are signs that you can tell that there is decay where you might find fungal infections such as deadwood or brittle bark, missing bark, dark discoloration, that sort of thing would still be identifiable in the winter months.
So were there any indications on this tree?
Not that we observed through the chair.
Yeah. Those are the only questions I have.
Councillor Myers, questions of staff?
Yes, through you, Chair. So I'm just wondering why staff came. Is it normal that the arborist report by the staff and the one hired by the applicant would come to 2 different conclusions?
Through the chair, it does happen on occasion. There's a certain amount of subjectivity, I'll say, in assessing a tree. I will note that I think it was 4 staff over the last few years have inspected this tree and come to the same conclusion that the tree is healthy.
And have staff seen those pictures of quite large falling branches?
Through the chair, some photos were submitted with the arborist report. Not all of those, I don't believe, were submitted, but we did receive some photos that showed that there was some limb failure with the report.
And have staff reviewed the invoices from the applicant that they have been regularly maintaining the tree in terms of pruning?
Through the chair, no, those were not submitted with the application.
That was not submitted. And does staff consider it dangerous if those types of branches are falling regularly from a tree, I guess within the last year? Is that something of concern, and is that in the report? Is that consideration in the report?
Through the chair, I think there's an inherent certain level of risk with having mature large trees on a property, but in staff's assessment of the tree, there were minor structural issues that ultimately resulted in a determination that the tree was healthy.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Other questions of staff? Can I just ask, in the report, it asked for, you said that the applicant could a sonic tomography study? Can you explain that?
Through the chair, sure. There's a few methods to assess essentially the interior of a tree. One of them is sonic tomography, which is essentially like a tree x-ray. You can take a look at the amount of decay within a tree's trunk. Another method is called resistance drilling, which would similarly be able to assess the amount of decay inside a tree's trunk. So the applicant, if they'd be willing to do so, could provide this information to forestry, and we'd be happy to review it.
Sorry, you asked for it and it wasn't provided? Or suggested it, or?
It could be provided, but of course, there are financial costs associated with something like that. So if the applicant was willing to, we'd be happy to
Do you have any idea how much something like that costs, or?
Unfortunately, through the chair,
No?
no.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the applicant mentioned that so in the report it says, excuse me, staff are saying that it be regularly pruned and looked after and it shouldn't cause any issues. And the deputant listed a number of years where they did do pruning, and he's got the bills to prove it. So when you say a tree of this age, regular pruning, and that's what he's doing, so that's what needs to be done on an ongoing basis to maintain a tree like this. Is it abnormal for branches to fall down when there's regular pruning, or is it just happens with trees like this?
Through the chair, I would say it's not as common if the tree's been maintained regularly to have significant branches failing, but we do maintain that consistent maintenance of the tree will ensure it can survive well in the future.
Okay. And then a 78.5 centimeter diameter black walnut tree, do you have any idea how old that would be? And what the lifespan of a black walnut tree is in Scarborough, for example?
Through the chair, a black walnut tree can live 100, 200 years easily if it exists in a good environment. This tree, I would estimate between 50 to 100 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then how do you measure community benefits for a tree this big? Like, how does that get determined? Like, the applicant can said he would plant 5 other trees to replace it, but does that, in your opinion as an arborist, does that balance the community benefits out, or?
Through the chair, eventually those 5 trees would provide the same environmental benefits as the existing tree, but a mature tree provides exponentially higher environmental benefits at the time than smaller trees do, and the city, as you're undoubtedly aware, has adopted a tree canopy target, so that having the mature tree there would certainly
Okay,
be
all right.
Yeah.
And sorry, just my last question. It says staff perform visual ground inspection of trees, and the applicant in his picture, he's pointing out where he thinks branches could fall off. But that's, how do you deal with that? Or
To the chair, I mean, we, through our inspection, determined that those branches appear to be healthy by and large. The canopy of the tree appears healthy. While our assessment was completed in the winter months, the arborist report submitted with the application was provided in the summer, which the photos included there did demonstrate that the canopy of the tree was quite full and healthy.
and for a black walnut tree, you don't see any issues with the actual walnut, or no evidence of fungus in the tree?
Through the chair, none that was observed, no.
No? Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Those are my questions. Speaker? Councillor Canaville?
Sure. Yeah, just a couple of questions. To staff, through you, I would imagine that there's consideration given when safety is at play, and given the applicant shared a young family and had a number of instances where branches have fallen. Where does staff incorporate safety in a decision like this?
Through the chair, I apologize, Councillor. I think I missed the beginning of the question, if you wouldn't mind repeating.
Sure. To what extent is safety incorporated in your decision? The applicant has a young family and has shown evidence of significant branches falling down. How is that incorporated?
Through the chair, thank you for the question. The safety of the tree is a concern when assessing any tree, but through our assessment, we assess the structural and botanical condition of a tree as part of our assessment, and structurally speaking, there were no critical defects observed that would render a decision that the tree was in poor condition, and therefore, due to that reason, we consider it to be healthy, and then the applicant appealed to this council. So it would certainly be a concern, but at this point would need to be addressed through this council.
So is your assessment that the branches were not falling on their own? Because I think that's the part of the safety concern, is that you've got these significantly sized branches with the potential, and obviously, as indicated by the applicant, falling down, and his daughter's in the backyard playing, then you've got a safety risk.
Through the chair, I apologize again, Councillor. I don't think I heard the question.
Is your assessment that these branches should not be falling down on their own? Is that what you're concluding?
Through the chair, I believe it's always possible that branches could fall through inclement weather or conditions affecting the tree, but our assessment of the tree is that it is structurally and botanically healthy, and therefore there's no provision in the bylaw that would allow us to permit its removal due to that fact. So it was then appealed and brought here.
So is your assessment there's no safety risk? The applicant's indicated he's got young children. If they're playing in the background, in the backyard, and the branches fall down, are we saying there's no safety risk?
Through the chair, I wouldn't say there's a zero safety risk. I think there is, as I said previously, an inherent level of risk with having mature trees in general. But through our assessment, we determined that the benefits provided by this healthy tree would outweigh that minor risk of branches falling.
And the applicant has volunteered to plant at least 5 trees as a replacement. What is the staff? I know you spoke to that would be over time a healthy replacement and substitute for the existing tree. Can staff be supportive of that approach as a means to address the root concern from both sides?
Through the chair, I don't think forestry staff would be supportive of the removal of the tree, given that it's healthy. If council decided to allow for the removal, then the standard replacement ratio is the 5-to-1 rate.
Okay, thank you. And Chair, is the intention to defer this?
Sorry, are you done with questions, Councillor?
Yeah, I'm asking you, or is the intention with this item, are we deferring it?
If you want to move a deferral motion, Councillor, but at this point we have the recommendations before us to not approve the removal of the tree.
I'd like to defer it.
Sorry, Councillor, and why do you need to defer it?
I think there are two items. One was that the notice wasn't provided.
Sorry, but the applicant asked to move forward with this, even though the notice wasn't properly done. So you want to move deferral of this so that the notice can properly be processed?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions of the mover? Okay. All in favor of the deferral? Any opposed? Seeing none, that's been deferred until our June meeting. Thank you, sir, for coming in this morning. Sorry, sir, are you okay with the June deferral? You get to do it all over again.
If I can be present, I do my best.
Sorry, I should have asked you first.
Yeah, if I can be present, I'll do my best, but my comments are generally more of the same. Again, I've done my due diligence, contained the tree, branches are falling. I've got one professional, he's a professional, we disagree, but there's contradicting information that was stated, and you guys put the sign out solicited for me. Didn't happen. But I will make my best effort.
Okay. And I don't know in the meantime if it's possible to get a sonic topography.
I just got that notice on Good Friday or on Thursday before the Easter long weekend, so I'm not imagine it takes some time.
Okay. Maybe if you can get that report, that will help your case.
Thank you.
Okay. Have a good day. All right. Our last item of the morning is SC 22.16, Brimwood Boulevard, Speed Humps, Ward 23. Councillor Myers, you have the floor.
Thank you. I would like to move staff recommendations, and I would just like to speak very briefly to the item.
Okay.
Yes, okay. I just want to thank the staff for their efforts on moving this quickly. Mary, Dan, Elena, thank you very much also for attending the community consultation we had about the speed hump installation yesterday at Brimwood Boulevard. I'd also like to thank the principals of Agincourt Collegiate, Our Lady of Grace Catholic School, and Brimwood Boulevard Junior Public School for participating, as well as the officers from 42 Division, and all of the parents that came out to support the application to install speed humps. And I'd personally like to thank Miss Santa Khan from my office, who spearheaded this effort and coordinated all of this to happen. And with that, I'd like to move the recommendations. Thank you.
Or did you have an amendment?
We fixed it.
You fixed it? All right. All in favor of the recommendations? That carries. I believe that's our last item of business. Bills? Deputy Mayor McKelvey. Would you like to move the bills?
I will move the bills for the last time. That bills 371 and 372 prepared for the May 1st, 2025 meeting 22 of Scarborough Community Council be declared as bylaws and passed subject to section 226.9 of the City of Toronto Act 2006.
All in favor?
Well, that would be embarrassing if it didn't pass.
Congratulations.
Yes. I also move that confirmatory bills to confirm the legislative proceedings of the Scarborough Community Council acting under delegated authority of meeting 22 on May 1st, 2025 be declared as bylaws and passed subject to section 226.9 of the City of Toronto Act 2006.
Recorded vote?
Let's do it. All those in favor?
Oh, you guys are serious. Counselor Myers, Counselor McKelvey, Counselor Mantis, Counselor Ainsley, Counselor Candeval. That motion carries unanimously.
Congratulations.
Excellent. Going out on a high note.
All in favor? That carries. And a motion to adjourn. Counselor Mantis, all in favor? And the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.